Toastmasters International is a worldwide organisation. It's got over 368,000 members, over 168,000 clubs in 143 countries. Now each of those clubs has a committee, and each committee has a president. I'm this club's president. Why would I do that? To give and to grow. I knew taking on this role would give me opportunities and experiences I wouldn't get anywhere else. So it gives me the opportunity to grow. I know taking on this role would give me the opportunity to give other people experiences and opportunities they wouldn't get anywhere else. I get to give. So what else did I learn while being president? Can anyone see what that says? What this is? Anyone?
All-purpose filler.
Filler. What do we use filler for?
Filling gap.
Filling gaps. That's exactly what you do when you're a president. You fill the gaps. For example, a few months ago we had a meeting I was organising. There were 3 or 4 speakers. 2 days before the meeting, everyone cancelled. Nobody was going to do the speeches. So I had a choice. And I decided to fill the gap. With 24 hours notice, I said I'd give a speech and I'd organise an educational. It wasn't my finest speech in the world, but I made sure the meeting ran. I filled the gap. Another example. Toastmasters runs 4 competitions a year. Last year when we ran the competitions, nobody wanted to compete. People were happy to help run the competition, but nobody wanted to go into the competition themselves. So I filled the gap and I competed. I competed at club level and area level. And filling the gap becomes a habit. You do it all the time, you just naturally do it. But the problem is, I'm not going to be the president forever. So what do you do? Filling the gap can also be a gift you can give to others. And sometimes they can do a better job than what you do. So for instance, I talked about the meeting with 24 hours notice. Simon turned up to a meeting where a speaker had cancelled. 15 minutes before the meeting, he decided he was going to give a speech. I thought 24 hours was good, but 15 minutes, I don't think I would have done that. I talked about the contests that nobody wanted to compete in. Simon filled the gap. Simon competed as well. We both competed at club. We both competed at area level. The difference was he went on to win the competition and become UK and Ireland evaluation champion. All because he filled the gap. Now filling the gap is scary and it takes courage. And not many people want to do it. In those competitions, when it came to the division competition, we held it here, in this same room. I offered to fill the gap and be contest chair. 2 nights previous, I'd been the Toastmaster in a normal meeting. I was Toastmaster, I was speaker, I was doing an evaluation, I had 3 different roles. I had a lot going on, but I felt fine. When I took that role on as a contest chair in a division, so it's the same room, different faces, something changed. I had a nice waistcoat on, I had a tie on, I had my blazer on. I got home and I took my jacket off. I had sweat patches around here. It was the most scariest thing I've done in a long time. So if we want other people to fill the gap, we have to encourage them. How many people, how many members here have received an email from me saying, I've put you down as grammarian, I've put you down as table topics evaluator. Is that okay? Could you raise your hands if you've all received it? That is me encouraging you to fill the gap. I also recognise, because it's scary, we need praise afterwards. Now the problem is, I don't praise myself very well. So after I've done something, like those contests or doing that speech, I'll say, well done, what's next? And I should do a better job of praising myself. So I had an idea. You know, people talk about a gratitude journal nowadays. End of every day, you'd write 3 things that you're grateful for. I thought of a praise journal. So at the end of every day, I have to write 5 things I've done really well to praise myself. Just to get used to doing it. But then I thought, I can go one better than that. I could list 1 thing that my wife and my children have done, each. I could go do better than that. What about my colleagues and friends? And I'm hoping it will spread to this club. Because the feedback I got was, I do praise people, but I could probably do a better job. To summarise, I think the best definition of leadership is one by Rosalind Carter. She said, a good leader takes people where they want to go. A great leader takes people where they don't want to go, but they need to be. If you want to lead, you need to learn to fill the gap. Once you can fill the gap, you need to encourage others to fill the gap. You need to encourage them and praise them along the way. Now the current committee who run this club are doing their 2nd year, and it's more than likely that they will step down at the end of this year. You are all leaders in training, all learning to fill the gap. The question you've got to ask yourself at the end of this year, who's going to step up and fill the gap? Mr. Toastmaster.